everybody, welcome back to Challenge to Build. My name is Paul Michael, and this is the 1959 Chevy Viking. In today's episode, the engine, transmission, exhaust, drive shaft, and air tanks are all coming out, so that way I can continue welding the framework that we installed a couple weeks ago. So without any more talk, let's get to work and let's challenge the build. So you may be asking yourself, why am I taking the exhaust apart? I haven't even seen you build the exhaust yet. Well, that is true. I had planned on recording a video specifically on the exhaust, and due to a few family situations, I was unable to do that. So I spent a lot of time building the exhaust and posting to Instagram. So if you want to see the exhaust build, follow me over at Instagram at challenge_the_build, or you can find a link in the description below and you'll be able to see exactly how I built the exhaust. It's also important that you guys follow me. If you want to keep tabs on the builds or the truck or anything that I do, follow me on Instagram and or Twitter or both, because I do spend a lot of time posting on those two platforms. While I am sitting here taking this apart, I will clip in a few slides and video clips of me building it, just so you can see what happened with the build. Essentially what I ended up doing was spending time adding in the Y pipe. I had to weld a piece of exhaust tubing from the Y pipe to the passenger side exhaust, and then fully weld everything, which there's still a little bit of welding left to do, but that can all be done with it outside of the truck, and there is no real design issues with that. Hello, Caesar. What are you doing? Say hi to everybody on YouTube. Caesar is a black lab, I believe, pit bull mix that we rescued from a mass adoption a little over a year and a half ago. And he has been a great dog for our family. And just like that, the Y pipe comes out. We got the exhaust tips out. I'm gonna pull the battery next, and then air tank and drive shaft. So leave me an answer to this question in the comments section. But why does it always come apart faster than it goes together? I didn't realize I had so much time invested into this thing already. Taking it apart, putting it back together, taking it apart, putting it back together, and it seems to come apart so much faster than putting it together. So leave me a comment in the comment section, letting me know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. This is a pivotal part in the build. I think this is going to be probably one of the final times that it comes apart before it gets sandblasted and powder coated. There's a few little things that I want to take care of in adjusting certain things, and then there's one big exterior not even sure what I'm trying to say. There's a big design piece of the puzzle for the exterior that's going to take place in the next couple of weeks, which I need to tie it into the frame too. So there's still quite a bit of work left to be done on the frame and welding. So I apologize if that's all that you guys see lately. There's not much mechanic work, but a lot of fab work on this thing, way more than I ever anticipated. Air tanks simply just get removed. I actually never did bolt them down. So that makes this part of the process pretty simple. And then this behemoth of a drive shaft, same thing. I never put the bolts on to hold the U-joint on. Give it a couple taps with the hammer. Just a couple weeks ago, I was putting this thing in. So I had to do some fab work back here. And for the final piece of the exhaust, the downpipe. Help if I had the right wrench. Tell you what, V-band clamps are the cat's meow. I guess I could mean pun intended, right? Caterpillar, cat. That's not what I intended, but it works. Anyway, V-band clamps are awesome at joining pieces of exhaust pipe together. Actually, I gotta put this back on here. This is a special clamp for the back of this turbo. I don't want to confuse this with all the others. This V-band clamp alone, I think, was like 40 bucks. But it was well worth it. There you have it, just in a matter of minutes. I gotta finish welding the downpipe too, right here in the flange. But within a matter of minutes, I got probably 70% of the work done. I'm gonna pull the engine and transmission, and then we're gonna start doing some welding on the frame. So let's continue with the momentum that we have and keep banging it out. Here goes nothing. Well, here it is out of the truck frame. This is a big Eaton 6-speed. I do have a confession to make though. This was the second attempt of me getting the transmission out of the truck. Depending on where you follow me at, you may have seen some video clips on Instagram and Twitter. But what I ended up doing on the first round was I took the transmission off at the bell housing, and then I'm gonna put in a video clip right now of the initial reaction of me taking the transmission out. Because what had happened was, with the way that I designed all the new framework, the transmission came out and hit the back cross member that was back here. I put it in too close, and because of the tail shaft, let's see if I can't spin this around. Because of the tail shaft being as long as it is, about 10 inches or so, when I disconnected the transmission from the bell housing and the cross member being so close, I wasn't able to get the tail shaft out from around the bell housing. So this was the second attempt. It went a lot easier. And the reason it looked like it went easier is because I had experience in what didn't work. So that is my confession. Now that the transmission is out, I'm going to put the truck back down on the ground and get ready to pull the engine, which is going to be a challenge all in itself due to the fact that this thing weighs probably about 1,500 pounds. I have taken it out before, and once it is up in the air, I really struggle with moving it around on the lift. So what my thoughts were is I'm gonna put it on the ground, roll it up a little bit. Once I lift the motor up, I'll roll the frame back out underneath of it and then just drop the motor down, and I'll probably end up having to make some kind of cradle or steel frame with some casters so that way I can move it around the shop, because it will be out of the truck for quite some time. So that is what's next. Let's continue challenge and build and get on with it. Well, that's not going to work. My original idea of putting the lift under, lifting the motor and pushing the truck back. It's been so long since I pulled the motor, I forgot how low the frame was. Engine lift does not fit underneath of the frame rails and or the axle underneath. So I guess I will push the truck back, put it on jack stands, just like I did, and then pull the motor and then have to just manhandle it back toward this way and pull the motor that way. It's never easy sometimes. See what I mean? I ain't joking when I say I have a hard time moving it. I can't move it. Hopefully this will give you some idea of just how big this sucker is and all of the work has gone into this frame to try to make this thing work. Holy cow. I don't even know if this is gonna work. Sketch City, man. Gee whiz. I don't know if you can hear my heart racing. I hope you enjoyed that. Because that will give you some idea of just how heavy this engine is. And I can assure you that I'm only doing this one time. So, depending on what I have as far as film is what I'm using, because I am not putting that back in there. I'm gonna sit and take a 10-minute water break and catch my breath. This thing might even weigh more than 1,500 pounds. This is a beast, man. Ain't no LS1 small block, I can tell you that. Part of me thinks maybe I should have put one in. I'm just kidding. Where's the fun in that? Challenge to build. I guess I should have ate my Wheaties. Whew. So what you think about that segment for pulling the motor? That was not exaggerated in the least bit. I was putting every bit of weight that I had, which is not that much, behind pulling that engine out, and that thing is a monster. So I took a break for a little while, I ate some lunch, and now you can finally see the payoff of the work that's been put in on the inside framework. The midsection here was done probably a few months ago, and then just more recently the rear section within the last couple of weeks since I've got back to YouTube. And now I'm going to hook up the welder and start welding, fully welding the framework in. There's a lot of welding that needs to be done. What I'm going to probably do is start from the front and work all the way to the back, finalize all of that, and then once that's complete, I can drop the body on the truck, completely bed, cab, front end, to start working on the exterior modification that I had talked about in the beginning when I couldn't figure out what the heck I was trying to say. I don't even want to say what it is now, because I think it's a pretty cool feature that's going to be on this truck. So, time to get my weld on. Now, because there's so much welding to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump around from seam to seam to seam to seam, front to back. So this way here, I'm not generating too much heat in one area, even though this is pretty heavy metal, and I don't think that's going to be a concern. Because there's so much welding to do in all the different locations, I'm going to kind of minimize how much heat I put in one specific area, just so this way here it doesn't twist and move the metal and possibly make something go a little cattywampus on me. But like I said, I don't necessarily think that's going to be a major issue with how heavy the metal is. The frame rails are 3x6 3/16, and all of this is 2x2 1/8 wall. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to keep jumping around and continue on. Well, I think this is about as good a time as any to end this episode. I have a lot of welding left to do on this frame. In the meantime, please make sure you like and share this content. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel to be updated when I drop new videos. My name is Michael. This is Challenge to Build. Now it's time for you to go challenge your build. I'll see you in the next episode.